Hi everyone, I am Dome and I'm going to show you some of the functions that we can use in some data types. We're going to talk about lists and dictionaries. Starting with lists, we have the first function that will be append. In this function, keep in mind that you will only be adding one single item to a list. You can add all types of data, integers, floats, strings, booleans, more lists, or another list, or a dictionary. There are no strict parameters that we have to use, and the syntax is really simple. You just add the list name in which you want to add the new item to. Now I'm going to show you some examples. In the first one, we have a numerical example. So we have a list of 4 numbers and we want to add the 5th one. As you can see, I just use the syntax that I showed you before, and you have the list, the function dot append, and the number you want to add. Once I run it, you have the new list. As I told you before, it can also work with string lists. Here we have a name list, and I want to add a 4th name to it. We use the same syntax, and the result gives us the new list. The second function is the extend function. This is a pretty similar one to the append function, except that in this one, you can add more than just one item to the list. You can add more lists, tuples, dictionaries, strings, or numbers. Just like the append one, you don't need any parameters, and the syntax is still the same, except that we changed the append to the extend one. Now for the example, I have a numerical one. We have a list of odd numbers and even numbers. The even number list is the one that I want to add to the odd number one. So for this, we add the odd number one, since this is the list that I want to add the new items to, extend, and the name of my new list in this case. Now, if I run this one, you have the new list with the odd numbers in front and the even numbers next. As I told you before, this can also work with strings, and it's the same procedure. As you can see, I added the Sarah, Wyoming, and Yuri names to the alphabet list that I created before. For the next function, we have the sort function. Just like the name says, this function sorts the elements of a list in either an ascending or descending order. You can sort strings, integers, or lists also. Although you don't need any further parameters since you have a default one, you can be more precise by using the reverse parameter. When this is true, the list will sort in a descending form, and when this is false, the default function is the ascending form. The syntax is pretty much the same. You just add the command sort, the function sort, to the list that you want to work in. And if you want to use these parameters, then you write them with an equal. Now, for an example, I have one with the vowels. So as you can see, they are not in any particular order, but once I use the function, you have the orders in alphabetical order. As you can see, the default command is in an ascending order. So whenever you use the extra parameter reverse and you put it in true, then it means that the default command will change, and this will be in a descending order. Now we also have the pop function. This removes the item of a list in a determined position. The function will also return the removed value. So unlike the others, in here you have to use the position of the item you want to remove. You can remove numbers, strings, lists also. And in the parameters between the parentheses, you just add the index, meaning that this will be the position of the item you want to remove. So an example, as you can see here, I have 6 items and I want to erase the second one. So in this case, it will be meat. As you can see here, if I run it, the removed item resulted in meat. So in here, I just created a new variable of the pop, meaning that it returns me the position. So in here, it will be meat. And then my new list will be without the value that it returned. Next, we have the remove function. This removes the item of a list that matches the written parameter. So it also removes an item, but in here you have to write the word or the value that you want to erase instead of the position of the value you want to erase. So as you can see here, it's the same syntax, except that this X will represent the actual value that you want to remove. So in the example, as you can see here, I have a list of students and I want to remove my name, Domi. So I have to write my name, and this will give me the new list without that value. So that will be it for all the list functions. The next video will be about the dictionary ones.